Hi, welcome back. Our next pose is Setu Bandhasana. Setu Bandhasana is bridge pose. So this pose takes a little bit of core strength, some flexibility into the lower back, and the shoulders need to be opened up quite a bit. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you this with a block in a passive bridge pose. Passive meaning we're going to get into it and then we're just going to kind of settle and relax a little bit. So I'll show this with a couple of different variations with our friend the block. So we'll keep that within arm's reach. We're going to lie down. And when we lie down, we want to bring the heels towards our bottom, and we want the feet to somewhat be parallel to each other. They can turn out just a little bit, but not too much. We want the big toe side of the foot to be heavy. That's going to bring the knees towards each other. So we lie down. Adjust your heels. Maybe we can touch the heels. Maybe they're a little bit further out. That's okay. Wherever you need them to be is fine. Walk the shoulder blades in towards each other and see if we can find our friend the block. This is going to be our passive bridge. So here, big toe sides are heavy. The knees are starting to come towards each other. If you have an extra block and you notice that when you start to raise yourself up, the knees are coming apart quite a bit, you can challenge yourself by putting a block between your knees and squeeze that block to keep the knees from dropping apart. But I just have one, so I'm going to show you with one. So keep the big toe side of the feet heavy, bringing the knees towards each other. Walk the shoulder blades underneath of you. Get them in nice and tight. We're going to take a nice deep inhale here, and as we exhale, we're going to press the knees away from us and raise the hips up slightly. We're going to take our block on the lowest setting possible first and slide it underneath of us. We want the sacrum to kind of rest right on that block. So maybe about where your pant line is, maybe a little lower or higher, so it's comfortable. So I can now settle myself back down onto the block, walk my shoulder blades in underneath of me, arch my back, and my feet are just kind of pressing the big toe side heavy, knees are towards each other. Maybe I can press my hips down into the block, arch the lower back as I raise the chest up to touch my chin, or my sternum to my chin. Not the chin down, sternum up to the chin. And we take a couple of breaths here. Maybe 5, maybe 10. Whatever's comfortable. This is passive, so it shouldn't be a very, very active pose. Just the hips and shoulders pressing down as we arch the back. After maybe 5 or 10 breaths here, we're going to return our attention to the big toes. Big toes are pressing firmly in. The knees start to come towards each other. We take a nice deep inhale. Press the knees away from you. See if you can raise your hips up off the mat. If you can raise the hips up, maybe we go to the next higher level of the block. And then we adjust so that we can land the sacrum right on top of that, maybe a little higher or lower than your pant line, so that it's comfortable. No pain or discomfort in the lower back at all. And we walk the shoulder blades in nice and tight. If we go to the next higher level, great. If we don't, we just come back down onto the block to where we were. Shoulder blades are squeezing together, big toe sides heavy, knees are starting to come towards each other. Maybe I can press my hips down into the block, press the shoulders down, and raise that chest up to meet my sternum. Again, I'm arching the back and breathing. And maybe we take 5 or 10 breaths here. Now, you're welcome to stay right where you are or go back down a level. Come out of this pose whenever you need to, but don't look around to the left or right as we start to come up to this, because I don't want to put any strain on the neck. So just keep your gaze at the ceiling. Big toe side of your foot is heavy. Take an inhale. As we exhale, press the knees away. Raise your hips up off the block. If we can still raise up off the block and we have space, maybe we take that block to the next higher level. Again, this isn't going to be accessible for everybody. Please listen to your body. Settling back down onto the block so that we can relax. Big toe side's heavy. Shoulder blades are walking in and my gaze is at the ceiling. Big toe side heavy, knees coming towards each other. I can begin to put a little bit of weight into the hips, arch the back, and bring the chest up to meet the chin, not the chin down. And we breathe here. Or we're at the next level down, or we just stayed on that first level. After your 5 or 10 breaths here, we take a nice deep inhale, press the knees away, see if we can raise our hips all the way up off of the block. Maybe we can remove the block, slide it off to the side, and don't just collapse. As slowly as you can, lower one vertebrae at a time. until you sink all the way through the mat. And relax. Now to counter this back bending, we're going to bring the knees up into our chest, hug the knees into the chest, gently rock, maybe side to side, small circles, figure eights with your lower back, whatever your body needs, whatever feels good. So that's our passive Setu Bandhasana, or our passive bridge pose. So the active bridge pose takes a little bit more core strength. We're stretching all these muscles, really working out the body quite a bit. So you are welcome to use a block in the passive bridge. That's perfectly acceptable. Or you can go on to a more active bridge. So we'll do the active bridge now so you can see what that one's like. As we lie down, knees are bent. I can reach down. I can try to touch my heels. If I do, great. If not, the feet can be a little bit further away. Walk the shoulder blades underneath of you, nice and tight. Try to get them to touch if they can, or in that direction. Big toe side of the foot is heavy. Knees are coming towards each other. If we're not going to use the block to put underneath of us, maybe we put the block between the knees and squeeze the block so that the legs don't fall apart. So with our spacing here, shoulder blades are tight and we're looking straight up towards the ceiling. We take a nice deep inhale. As we exhale, big toe side heavy, raise the hips, press the knees away. Maybe we can interlace the fingers and start to walk the shoulder blades even more. Press the pinkies down into the mat and try to get the chest all the way up towards your chin. And we take 5 breaths here. After your 5 breaths, we release the hands, lower all the way back down to the mat. And then we can walk the heels in a little bit closer towards the bottom. Big toe sides heavy. Take that inhale. Walk the shoulder blades in. Press the knees away. Raise the hips up high. Maybe we interlace the fingers. Maybe we just grab a hold of the ankles. Really try to get the chest up to the chin. And breathe here. 5 breaths. After your 5 breaths, lower all the way down. And we usually do these in sets of 3s, so you can grab those, you can interlace the fingers. If that's too much or causes pain in the elbows, you can just bring your hands out to your side, palms turn to face the ceiling. If you can't reach your ankles, that's okay too. Last one, we'll take a nice deep inhale, walk the shoulder blades in tight, press the knees away, raise the hips up, try to gather the belly inward slightly. Either grab the ankles or interlace the fingers, press the pinkies down if that's accessible. Chest up to touch the chin if it'll go. And 5 breaths here. Don't let the knees go way out if they are. Use your block and squeeze the block. And after your 5 breaths, release the hands, lower down nice and slow. Again, the counter for that. Hug up, squeeze, rock gently side to side, small circles, big circles, whatever our body needs. So that's the Setu Bandhasana, or our bridge pose, both passive and active. Good luck with your practice. Thank you for watching.